Two US soldiers and an American civilian interpreter have been killed in Syria's central city of Palmyra. The Pentagon says the American-led coalition fighting ISIL was carrying out counterterrorism operations. Now, Syria's Interior Ministry, though, says the attacker had no rank within the security forces, and an investigation is underway to determine if he was linked to ISIL. President Donald Trump, though, has blamed the attack on ISIL and warned the US will retaliate if its forces are attacked again.
Syria, by the way, was fighting along with us. The new president of Syria is, as they told me, and I'm not surprised, he's devastated by what happened. This was an ISIS attack on us and Syria. And again, we mourn the loss and we pray for them and their parents and their loved ones. Very, very sad.
Mr. President, will the U.S. retaliate against ISIS?
Yeah, we will.
Joining us from Erbil in Iraq is Myles Caggins. He is a retired US Army colonel and former spokesperson for the coalition to defeat ISIS in Iraq and Syria, and also a senior non-resident fellow at the New Lines Institute. Thank you for speaking to us here at Al Jazeera. Now, we are getting conflicting messages, as we just heard there. US on the one hand saying it believes that this is an ISIL attack, while Syria using a more cautious language, if you like, saying that an investigation is taking place. What are your immediate thoughts with, all of your experience and having been there yourself?
Good evening, Sarah. This is a tragic and devastating attack against these U.S. soldiers in southern Syria in the Badia Desert. Now, there are some conflicting messages, but in the most recent messages from the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center leader, Mr. Joe Kent, he has indicated that this attack was an insider attack, what we often would call a green on blue attack. And in the most recent statement from Ambassador Tom Barrack, who is the special envoy to Syria, he has backed away from language attributing this attack to ISIS. So what's next? We have seen the U.S. Air Force conducting a show of force by dropping flares around the city of Palmyra. But in reality, this attack is over. The attacker has been killed, and we must move to the next steps.
Right, and just in terms of the sort of language that we were hearing from Trump there. Now, we've also heard this from his Secretary of Defense responding with a sort of threatening language. I'll just read out what Pete Hegseth said. He said, "If you target Americans anywhere in the world, you'll spend the rest of your brief, anxious life knowing the United States will hunt you, find you, and ruthlessly kill you." Now, is it likely to respond, do you think, the US in any way, given what seems to be a good relationship so far between Trump and the Syrian leader, Ahmad al-Sharaa, at least for now, the kind of relationship that they are having at the moment?
President Trump and President Sharaa do have a new but strong relationship built on admiration for each other. And CENTCOM has been successfully partnering with the new Syrian transitional government for some counter-ISIS operations in northwestern Syria and in the southern part in the Badia Desert. They have recently found more than 12 weapons caches in the desert area. And it is important that we remember the United States has been in Syria since 2014. And the United States has had a strong partner from the Syrian Democratic Forces since that time. And together, the Syrian Democratic Forces, backed by the international coalition, defeated ISIS and continue to hold more than 10,000 ISIS detainees.
So just, Myles, I just wanted to ask you specifically about the location of the attack, because it did take place in Palmyra, that's in central Syria. Can you perhaps give us an idea of why the US forces are there? What are they doing exactly? And that's, of course, despite the war ending and also Bashar al-Assad being ousted.
The Americans continue to have some small bases in the northeast of Syria. This is an area that is east of the Euphrates River. And in the south, there is the Antana garrison, where there are a few hundred U.S. troops. It is likely that as they now have a new partnership with the Syrian Transitional Government Ministry of Defense. They were going out to visit those Syrian Transitional Government bases or having some meetings with local leaders in the area as the U.S. is wanting to expand its presence and deepen its partnership, its new partnership with President al-Shara's security forces.
All right, thank you very much for speaking to us, Myles Caggins there.
Don't miss out, get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.